Greetings, MelVee family. I hope I find you well where you are today. This is the podcast on the go with your host, I'm very delighted to be bringing you this particular episode. If you've missed some from before, there's a playlist we've put somewhere up on the screen and down in the description. You should be able to follow the previous versions, especially of today's podcast. We are discussing something very phenomenal. And to help me discuss the topic I have for today is I've got my guest here with me, my brother, the speaker, the author. Should I add the prophet to the people? How are you doing?
You know, I like to think of myself as simple, and it's a scientific one.
Yeah.
A catalyst.
Catalyst.
Yeah. Because what a catalyst does, it speeds up a reaction, but it's not involved in it. And that's my job. I'm a catalyst for change. So hopefully, you know, I can be a catalyst to your life, to the listeners' lives.
Great stuff.
And we can speed up their own journey to destiny.
Fantastic. And that's why you are here today. And it only happens on this particular platform that we get to hear some life-changing stuff. So we were talking the other day and you were telling me, Melus, I'm bubbling on this issue. And I'm like, what is it? So I sat down and I wrote my notes. I still have them, you know. And you said, let's talk about how to launch yourself or your next bold move.
Yes.
Your next bold move.
Life, if you think about life is about the bold moves that we make. The normal things don't change anything. You wake up in the morning, you take a shower, you eat, you go to the office.
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
You attend a meeting.
It only changes when there is a bold move. And if you look at Mother Nature, that bold move is the change of seasons.
So life is seasonal.
Life is seasonal.
But then what moves you from one season to the next?
And I think that's what maybe to understand that, let's talk about the what are these seasons of life. So in nature, we got summer, autumn, winter, spring.
Yeah.
In life, you also have 4 seasons. And I think we will talk through those seasons.
So 4 seasons, that's if you're in Southern Africa. In Africa.
Life seasons are 4.
4.
Yeah. So life is 4.
But some get more of the others.
So literally you will have 4 seasons in your life.
I'm thinking of someone who's watching from England. They have more winter than summer.
Well, so the length of the season is different.
Okay.
So we're not talking, so you are in a season, but how long that season is going to be, that's different.
Okay.
So others might spend longer in one season than in another.
And there are factors that affect
that. That's why you cannot compare your life to somebody else. Because our times in the season is determined, number one, by your purpose.
So for me, I'm born. You always like to say this was wafa.
Yes, you were born, you ate, and you died. In the absence of bold moves, that's the story of your life.
So you just go in that routine.
You're alive. Oh, the sun is up. Okay. The sun is down. Okay. Did I eat? Where's my bread? Where's my pap? That's it. But we are created for impact.
Okay.
Our lives are supposed to impact.
Yeah.
The question you need to answer for yourself is, number one, how is my family different?
Because I was
born. That's number one.
I actually want to credit you for this statement that I often use, that I will not die a life I never lived.
And that's actually from a poem by, what's her name? I'll think about it. But she actually wrote a poem called I Will Not Die an Unlived Life. It's a very powerful poem. But so the thing is, you want to ask the question, how is my family different because I was born? Okay. That's a selfish level.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
Then you move from my family to how is my community different because I was born. Then you move from there to how is my country different because I was born.
And then the world.
Then how is the world a better place because I was born? If you live your life by those questions, you will live a life of impact. Because then life does not become about what do I have? Well, what didn't I have?
What do I get out of life?
What can the world do for me? No. It should be what can I do for the world? Not what can my family do for me? What can I do for my family? Not what can my country do for me? What can I do for my country? What can the world do for me? No. What can I do for the world?
All right.
Because then when you ask that question, you're asking the question of impact. The apostles will say, "Udalelwe ntoni?" What were you created to do?
Okay.
If you answer that question, that question will move you into the different seasons.
And I'm just trying to think practically, maybe for a young person out there who is trying to figure out who they are, because suddenly they are discovering something they are passionate about. So at what point do you discover I am into this season and this is how I should progress? Because for many of us, young people out there, they are just fumbling in the dark. So walk us through this framework that you are saying is seasons of life.
And I think that's there. So let's look at what are the seasons of life. So if you want to divide your life into the 4 seasons, the first season is the age 0 to 20. And I call it the providential years or the providential season.
Okay, it makes
because
sense.
It's by providence.
Yeah.
You are born.
You didn't even choose.
You didn't choose. So you don't choose
when.
So you don't choose when you're born. You don't choose in what family you're born. You don't choose what gender. You don't choose your physical structure. You don't choose your nationality. All these things are chosen for you. So the first, and then you don't choose what school you go to. You get born in a particular family. You're told you go to school and you're going to go to grade 1. In fact, probably up until you finish high school, you actually don't have a choice.
Sounds like those are the best years of your life.
So you are just existing. But in the process of that, during that providential years, you're also discovering a lot about yourself. You're learning. As you learn, so you're discovering, maybe you might discover, hey, I'm actually good at mathematics. So you decide, oh, I can draw. I can sing. I can play the piano. I love to speak. So now, whenever they need someone to stand up and do the verse, when we're growing in church, who's going to do the missions reading or whatever it is? So you're slowly during that providential years. They're also the year. It's a formative.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have direction. You're just going to school because that's what they said you're going to. You must do. It doesn't make sense. You just go. Then this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the first season ends when you begin to ask the question, what am I here for?
Okay.
What is life all about? What do I want to do with my life?
Yeah.
And you'll see that because you now don't want to live with your parents.
Okay.
It's just normal. You can have the most wonderful parents, the most wonderful home, but they will come to a point where you just want to leave and go have your own place. So there's how you know it's time to change seasons, there's an agitation. Inside you.
You suddenly become not satisfied.
Yeah, you're dissatisfied. So someone can look and say, your parents are well-to-do. You get, you eat all the food you want. You go on holiday with them. You drive whatever car you want. And it's like, that's not what I want.
Okay.
The other kids might be looking at you and say, look, I will stay at your house anytime. But there's an agitation. So that's why you see kids sometimes, they will leave a multi-million rand house. And go rent a room in some poor neighborhood somewhere. And we think they've gone crazy. No. It's actually season that's beginning to call on you.
Sounds like they are now beginning to search.
Yes. So it automatically, they're moving into the second season of your life.
Okay.
Which is what I call the searching season.
All right.
So season 1, Providential season. You're born. So 0 to 20, it's Providential. But somewhere around that age, there will be an agitation in your spirit. There's a longing for something, even if you don't know what it is. There's a dissatisfaction with the status quo. Yes.
Yeah.
You are looking for something. You are tired of being told to clean your room. You are tired of being told when to come home and asking for permission.
Move your dishes.
You now want to do life
your own way,
but you're not yet sure about how that's gonna work. And I think some of you might have had conversations with your parents where you wanted to leave, and they say, "How are you gonna pay rent? What are you gonna eat? What are you gonna do for money?" Yeah. Because sometimes I think as parents we also can be too protective.
Okay.
That we hold on to our kids too long and don't allow them to move into season 2 of their lives.
All right.
Our job is to help them in season 1 and then push them. You know what an eagle does? Apparently an eagle
in the nest.
In the nest after a certain age. You know, because they build the nest is built with
twigs and thorns. Yeah.
So at some point,
she
removes all the covering so that the thorns begin to prick, and this thing has to. It becomes uncomfortable, and it needs to move out. So your move from one season to another is a bold move. Because for life, think about it. You've lived in a protected environment. Your father paid the rent. They bought the food. They bought the clothes. They took you to school. They gave you pocket money. And now you are risking all that to go and do what you don't even know what it is that you're going to do.
And whether you're going to be successful or not.
So you move out. So without a bold move, you will not move into the next season.
So this boldness is informed by you feeling it.
Yes. There will be an unease. There's a discomfort. You are not satisfied with the status quo.
Okay.
That's
and secondly, obviously, it's circumstantial.
Yeah, it's also circumstantial. So I think that. So I'm gonna be nice and say, Mother Nature will also irritate you enough. There will be something and I think
you feel that you've outgrown.
We long for independence as human beings.
All right.
We human beings were created with an independent spirit.
Okay.
That desire to decide my own fate, to decide where I'm going to go. So even a child, there's a point where you get tired of being told what to do. And if you live with your parents, you can be 40, man. As long as you live under their roof,
you are still told.
They will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
That's why even the Bible says you must leave and then cleave.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to, there's a leave. That living is you leave your comfort zone.
All right.
So that you can go into uncharted territory.
So it looks like change is something that we must normalize in our lives. Whether by our own or by the ego pricking us, we must be used to change.
You know, this change thing is fascinating for me. Because actually life itself is change.
It never is
stagnant. From the day you were formed in your mother's womb, you've been changing.
Wow.
Yeah, you started off as you were the medical person.
Yes.
Then that zygote then becomes whatever, an embryo, then then you form and you form. And then watch this.
Yeah.
You get to a point where your mother's womb is no longer comfortable.
It actually connives.
You are tired. You're tired of this. You are in your mother's womb. You've never seen anything else. But you're so you want to go. That's a bold move. Birth itself.
It's a bold step.
It's a bold move.
In fact, the whole system, mom's system, nature, connives to push you.
It's designed to get you to move on.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah. If you don't get out of there, the doctors will cut mom to get you out.
What's interesting about this you've never breathed on your own.
Until that moment.
Do you see the risk? That's a high risk.
In fact, let me tell you this, Nkoma. Africa loses a lot of its kids at that moment. Childbirth. At that moment.
It's a risk.
And many mothers die giving birth. So this is dangerous territory. And so helping babies to breathe is one of the biggest programs I know in Africa that we used to do, and mothers as well. So this is quite serious stuff.
So think about that. So because I'm loving the fact that we're having this conversation, because when we are now adults, we seem to think that change is a foreign concept. In fact, every single one of us was once a bold human being. Because boldness to push your way out of your mother's womb.
Can I take you a little bit back? I think I write about this. I told you about the script I have for the book. Your conception was a bold move.
There you are.
The sperm had to outswim billions.
There you are.
To get to your mother's egg and fertilize and be the right one to be used. So you were winning and changing long before you knew.
Then you grew in your mother's womb. And somehow you knew that your mother's womb is not where it ends.
Yeah.
So you start agitating.
Yeah.
Mom starts getting the labor pains. It's you saying, I'm tired of the comfort zone.
So you're saying people must not be afraid to face change.
In fact, you are facing change every day. Then there was evening and morning the first day. Change.
Something new had to happen.
It's 9 o'clock, now it's 10 o'clock. Change. Something is happening. So we're constantly
shadows are shifting.
Yes. So life is changing. Now you are 20, you are agitated, you're no longer comfortable with living at home, but also you have your own desires.
Yeah.
Some of you at 20, you already know what you want to do. You want to be a preacher, you want to be a singer, you want to be a DJ, whatever it is, you want something. And yet sometimes when you're trying to move into your second season, there are people that are going to try and hold you back.
Okay.
And tell you you're not ready.
Maybe they have evidence.
No. There is no such a thing. If you are being agitated to go, you are ready.
Okay.
What they're trying to do, particularly us as parents, we're trying to protect you from the elements. Imagine if mom said, hey, we got global warming and we got this stuff. No, my child is okay in my womb. You've never been born. So there is and this is why it's so important. Sometimes some of us are being held back by our environment.
Okay.
But it's also part of the process, because it is in the pushing out. Now, you as a medical person, you know that it's better to be born the natural way than the C-section.
Yes.
Because there's some development that happens. So a child who gets born the natural way is much stronger than the child who just get plucked out. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's
so resistance builds your character.
So when we try to protect people from change, we're actually, destroying them.
Yeah, weakening them.
But let's move a little faster. So now it's between 20 and 40.
The searching season.
That's the second season of your life. And perhaps some of you who are listening to me, you are between 20 and 40. You are in your
the enigmatic year. You're driving searching towards 40.
So now you're trying to figure out, what am I good at?
Yeah.
So this is the years where you are experimenting.
Okay.
So you go to school, you do accounting, you graduate, you go work as an accountant, and you hate it.
You discover this is not what I
That's not what I want. Now, here's the problem.
Yeah.
You discover you don't like it, but it pays the bills, so you stay in it.
Okay.
Nah.
Routine.
The idea would be, no, this is not it. I've learned, and you'll only know. You learn it, you know it, but it's not it. So you maybe go back to school, or you try something else, or you branch out within the same organization. You move from accounting to sales.
or to senior management,
or to marketing or something. But you are constantly trying to find where you will fit in. Now, there's nothing wrong with switching. In fact, I encourage it because the more things you try, the higher the chance of finding that thing that is you.
So you're actually weaving a 3-some, 4-some code of experience.
Yeah, it's experience. Now, that's the other part. So I tell my kids. So my first one is now doing animation. And I said to him, when he was in matric, I said to him, it doesn't matter what you study. Just go to school.
Okay. Learn the science and the art. Go to school.
Because I know he is now in his searching years.
So school.
Look at how long the searching season is. It's 20 to 40. What does that tell you? It tells you that it is really searching.
It takes time.
So there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Study. Get the degree. It's not wasted. People say, no, I went to school and I wasted my time. No, you didn't. The knowledge and information that you got has made you're much stronger. So if you take a person, for instance, who stopped in matric, and the one who went and did, let's take a random course like tourism.
Yeah.
The one who did tourism knows more, has a better view of the world than the one who just ended in matric.
Yeah.
So anything you learn will be good for you. And you won't know until you get there. It was Steve Jobs who said that you must connect. You can in life, you can only connect the dots backwards.
Life actually is learned backwards.
Yes. And there's a reason why.
Yeah.
If you knew what was going to happen,
some of you will never sign up for what you're doing.
You think if Joseph knew he was going to spend 13 years in jail, he'd say, no, it's fine.
He would have agreed to
Forget your dreams, man. So part of what makes life exciting is the fact that we don't know what tomorrow holds.
So you pick up this thing and you carry it.
And then there's a scripture that I want to share with you that's very important. And that's the scripture that says, all things work together for good.
For good of those who believe.
What does that mean? That means the course you did that you don't like will work for your good. The relationship you got into that was really messy. The mistakes you've made in your life will work for your good.
Okay.
Because people look at this and they think
all
good things. It's like all good things work together. No.
Yeah.
All things work together for your good.
Good and bad.
And some of them is the mistakes that you've made that actually work for your good.
Even the relationships you create.
Yes. So understand that let's say you go to school.
Yeah.
And you get a degree in a subject that you're not interested in. You leave it. Then you go to something else, and then you go to something else. Down the line, you're going to see these dots, and you'll see it when we get to the final season, which is the 4th season. Yeah. Because then you see how it all comes together. But there you're searching. So you're allowed to. So this is a season where you're searching in terms of what is going to be my career.
Yeah.
So you go for one company and you think you don't like it. You might say, I don't want to work for someone else. Maybe you say, no, I'm not going to work for someone else. I'm going to start a business. And then it knocks you and you fall down. You end up going to work for someone else. It's all part of the process of searching.
All right.
It's almost like you have a compass in you that leads you to these experiences because they're building. It's not yet there. You're searching. You are supposed to search.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, even yourself in terms of your talents and how far your talents can be useful in the world. And when you see yourself being accepted for that musical piece, you begin to develop in that area.
So you do stuff. And it's interesting. Sometimes you find things and you really like them.
Yeah.
And you start going there.
Yeah.
And you go there.
Yeah.
And a couple of years down the line, you wake up and you really don't want to sing another song.
Perhaps now you're into something else.
Then you realize, and this is within that same 20 to 40, then you realize this was just a stepping stone. It's part of the building blocks.
So finally
you're not yet where you are supposed to be going.
So you finally arrive at 40 and you're like...
so now you go all the way and you get to, so
life begins at 40.
So this 20, this second season, you look for a partner. Someone you can search with. So you find, girlfriend,
So
boyfriend.
you move from one household, now you need a specific...
Find someone, and then you begin to try and look for, life together. And this thing might work, it might not work. And then you realize you made the wrong choices. You don't give up.
Yeah.
You
try again.
You try again. Because you must find the right partners, the right people to go to move forward. And as you go towards your 40, you're going to find that things begin to make sense. So when you start in the 20s, it's muddy.
Yeah.
As you go towards 40, there's clarity.
And that clarity sometimes knocks some people off your radar.
Here's what's interesting about the 40s, and I remember, and it starts in your 30s. Because in your 20s, you get a job, you start making money, you get excited, you can buy a car, you get your own place, and you think, this is it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've arrived.
Yeah.
And you get about 32, 33. And you're making the money, you've got a home of your own, perhaps you got someone you're going to marry to, or you're already married, you got a child. But if someone looks at you, you really got your life together, then there's an agitation that starts within you.
You're getting old.
That one is rough. It's not even, we think we're getting old. No, it's just a season that's beginning to say, So it goes up to about 40. Some people even jump out of that season before the 40. Yeah. But then you go to the third season. The third season then is what I call the season of success.
Okay.
And that's normally between 40 and 55. Yeah. At this stage now, you kind of figure yourself. I'm this one now. You're now beginning to be. You know what you're good at.
Yes.
You know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at.
Yeah.
And you're really now, there's acceleration now. You're beginning to... Now, 40 is a very serious time.
And there's a lot of energy.
Because a lot of us, there's chaos there.
Yeah.
A
lot of energy.
People sometimes will just get up and quit their jobs. Say, I'm going to start a media company. Say, Chief,
I'm done.
Why are you leaving the medical field and you are going to get a camera and do what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your father looks at you and says, I sent you to school. Now you want to stand behind the camera.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. But it's the agitation. Others, they, find a guy as a CEO of a company. And he just says, no, I've had enough.
I just want to go and do something.
I want to do something else. Like, man, I'm trying to get to be CEO. What do you mean you're quitting?
I'm actually aspiring to be where you are.
At the peak, someone says, no, I've had it. So you will never understand when people change seasons. So what do? We judge them based on our own perception about life. And that's why I keep telling people asking people this question. Whose eyes are you seeing through?
All right.
If you're not careful, you're going to see the world through my eyes.
And that's a different world.
That's a different thing. Yeah. Because I'm in a different path.
And you may not like it.
I'm going somewhere else that's different from you. Yeah. So 40 now, there's a convergence. And for some of you in your 40s, that's when all hell breaks loose. Okay. And I'm talking to someone now in the audience. You are now approaching, you're 39, I'm getting old, and this marriage now, and these kids are crazy. And you thought by 40, you'll be CEO. Yeah. And when you look where you are, it looks like you will never make it beyond senior manager. And you're about to give up on your life.
All right.
No. It's the end of a season.
Okay.
You need to understand what the next season is going to be. So there's an agitation. There's even depression.
Okay.
You get depressed. And you know you're at that age because you can't get up in the morning. This job doesn't get you up in the morning at all. And this is sometimes because we don't understand seasons. Yeah. You wake up and you look at your partner and you think, if I'd married someone else, I'd be happier.
Oh my Lord.
You think the problem is my partner. You don't realize that the dissatisfaction has got nothing to do with your partner. It's your destiny that's calling. It's your purpose. Mother Nature is saying, you are not yet there. You are not yet, fulfilling your purpose.
And sometimes that's when we make mistakes. When you don't handle that agitation properly, and you end up sacrificing what should stay.
Yes.
And getting what should be sacrificed.
There you are. So understand, and that's why you must always live life on purpose.
Purpose.
Because most of our dissatisfaction in life, I believe that most of us could be happy with almost anybody as a partner.
Okay.
Almost.
What's the key?
The thing that's really kills us, that makes us dissatisfied, is we are not happy with ourselves because we know we are. we're a fraction
of what we could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I think, it's this man.
It's holding me back.
This man, if I married someone different.
Yes.
No. People have changed partners and remain the same.
Even worse.
You can't deal with yourself by changing people.
Yeah.
You can't deal with yourself by changing environments, like the prodigal son. He thought that home was the problem. But the problem was...
It was him.
In here. Yeah. So 40 is a time where you're going to get really agitated. Because you're moving into... And the agitation is because you're supposed to be now in your success season. And if there's no success, you're going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
And so what I tell people is that start doing things differently. Get out of the routine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a couple of steps of things that you need to look at.
But that's also the other time when you've been building relationships and partnerships, and some of these partnerships actually end up being a liability.
Most of them.
At that age.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Remember, a lot of the relationships that you build, you're building during your searching years.
Yes.
You're not even sure about who you are.
Yeah.
You're not even sure about why you're on earth. So there's a lot of relationships that are built with you not sure. As you get more clarity about who you are, you're going to, and I'll actually come to that point where we'll drop out. But let's move to the next
Let's move on to the next one. So 40s are done.
Yeah, so 55 now is the final season of your life.
Okay.
Come on. Hey, I wish I could speak in tongues. Yeah. 55 now is the beginning of the final. Remember. So in fact, it's not even 55. It's 50.
Okay.
So the I call it the significance.
Yes.
Season.
Yeah.
It's 50 plus until life is over.
All right.
That's significance.
Okay.
Now
you've plateaued now.
You've now figured out. So if you want to describe that, I will say there's a convergence.
Okay.
Everything you've ever experienced since you were born
comes to the
begins to come together now.
And to the fore.
There's wisdom. You're now wise.
You've been there.
When you sit and you talk to young people, they just, wow. Hey, man, this man is wise. You and I will remember this. You remember when we were younger, when you're growing up, you go through a phase where your parents know everything.
Yes.
Then you become a teenager.
Yeah.
And you think your parents are really dumb.
Yeah, they don't know stuff.
They don't know anything. When you get into your searching years,
then you discover
they
were right. They were right.
Yeah. They find it, wow. And you'll see that because that's when your relationship with your parents, if they're still alive, it really grows.
Yeah.
Conversation with your dad, conversation with your mother, your grandmother, older people, because you're maturing. But when you hit 50, there's a convergence. I want you to imagine that there's 4 or 5 rivers flowing. Convergence is where all these rivers come and they form one big.
With all their waters.
Yeah, they form one big
stream.
River. So it's about legacy. 50 plus is where you build now the reason why you were born, what you will be remembered for. It's about destiny. And it's interesting that your success now depends. So you see, between 40 and 50, your success depended on what you said yes to.
All right.
So you remember you're trying to please the guy who's gonna promote you, and you need to speak. You need to speak a particular way, dress a particular way, hang with the right people, play golf with the right people.
Yeah.
The significant years, this thing is completely different. You've reached your pinnacle now. This is the peaking of your life, and you know what? It's driven by the things you say no to.
Okay. So you are now more into, I don't want that.
So I come and say, Melus, you should do this and this. No, I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm not interested.
No, I'm not doing it. Like,
so you become a stubborn old man.
You're but you know what you're about.
Yeah.
So you're not moved by the people.
I guess
you're not moved by social media. You're not moved about what the people at church are gonna say. You're not. You're now on. You're in your own now. You're like, in fact, you're as stubborn as a 2-year-old.
In fact, that's why they say you can't teach old dogs. Because they've been there, they've done that.
But you're saying no a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because now you know exactly what you were born to do, and you're going there with pinpointed accuracy. And
because you know your years are now numbered. But the years you've lived are
Christ
more.
Say, for this reason I came into this world. For this reason I came.
And by the way, that statement was not in his early years.
Yeah.
If you check properly, he said those statements
as when he had reached.
He was getting.
So if you look at Christ, he reached significant at 30.
And at that point, he was done.
So notice that he reached his significance at 30.
Wow.
And finished his assignment at 33.
Wow.
So this is very important to understand that your life is different from my life. There are people who will peak at 30. But by 40, they're gone.
Wow. But Moses peaked at what?
At 80. Moses reached his significant season at 80. At 80, God appears to him.
Wow.
So this is a very important part for you who are believers. It's very important that your significant years starts with God appearing to you.
Ooh.
So think about Moses. It was a burning bush experience. I don't know how God will appear to you, but for me, there was just a knowing.
Wow.
I knew I was done with corporate. I didn't know what tomorrow held. In fact, after that, 11 years of hell.
My goodness.
After I have moved. But it's only now, in the sort of last 2-3 years,
you realize
that I've reached convergence. Where I'm actually now I'm beginning to peak now. And I'm 58 years old.
Wow.
I'm beginning to, I know for a fact that now I'm beginning to peak.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. And I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And when I connect the dots backwards, I realize that everything from my upbringing to every job I've ever held, every job I've ever quit, every mistake I've ever made,
it
has made me the man that I am. So the value that I give to the world comes from the sum total of me. My darkness and my light. Both of them have contributed to where I am at. So now you're in a significance. What I want to define significance for you.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Yeah.
I define significance as the capacity to walk into a room and literally shift the atmosphere.
By your presence.
Yeah. When you've reached significance, they can't ignore you.
You are like a toll gate. They have to pay the price to go.
I want to imagine Moses. Yeah. He leaves Egypt as a murderer who's wanted for capital punishment.
Yeah, running away.
He returns 40 years later and goes straight to the palace.
He doesn't care.
Says,
let my
people go. Do you see the boldness? There's a boldness that comes about that season. And when he got there, Pharaoh doesn't say, hey, we wanted. No. He's engaging with him at that level.
Jeez.
There's a significance. When he walked in, I'm imagining Moses moving up the steps
into
Pharaoh's palace. I'm imagining this guy with his rod walking up, and the bodyguards are looking and thinking, who's this old man? Who's this one?
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that the Chaldeans and all these fortune tellers and that always surround, they took one look at this man and something told them, you can't mess around this man. They probably whispered to Pharaoh and said, you got to listen to what this guy's got to say.
Yeah.
This is a special guy.
And actually, as the plagues kept coming and Moses was showing the significance of his power.
Now, watch this. There are doors that will open when you reach significant season. that you've been knocking at those doors for, they will just open on their own.
Because you are present.
Because you've reached that, you are ripe.
So you can't be held back.
You cannot be held back. Yeah. But it takes boldness. So you think about the significance. Significance is the most difficult to get into.
Okay.
Because you are most likely...
sorry to cut you there. Not only to get into, but to stay in.
Yes. Because one of the things that marks significance is you're probably moving from where you're comfortable, where you've mastered. Perhaps you're a CEO of a company and you just quit to go and do something else.
It's like you're just going into the ocean of this world.
Yeah, and you just, no, I'm done with that. I am talking to somebody who's at the pinnacle of their life in terms of their career. Everybody looks up to you and they think you've arrived. But there's a discomfort, there's a dissatisfaction.
You want to move out.
You are ripe for your next bold move because you are born with 4 bold moves.
4. One
that moves you out of the first bold move is out of your womb into this.
Kicks you out.
That's a bold move. Then 20, out next bold move, you are now going to the searching.
Yes, out of the wings of your mother 40, and your father.
Next bold move. And then 50 plus. The final leg of your
and the final one, if maybe we could take the Moses story further, I really like the idea, even Joseph's life as well, because it was a cycle.
Yes.
For him to get to that pinnacle in that land and to be bold to stand up and say, Pharaoh, this is what your dream means.
Yes.
You need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
I think Pharaoh, there's a knowing.
Yeah, Pharaoh should have looked around and said,
no, it says there's no one like...
This is the guy. So
do you see significance? Yeah. But there's no one who can be... And Daniel, there's no one like this guy.
With a spirit like this one.
Now, every single one of us, there is something we have. Remember what I like to say, you are the 8th wonder of the world. 1 in 8 billion.
I believe
there is something that you bring to the world that nobody else brings. Now, when you get to there, so let's try and wrap up around this. So because I'm thinking now, people are thinking, okay, thank you for the information. Now I can put myself, I can plot myself where I am in the season. That's very important. What season are you in? And what is your next bold move? What season are you in? And what is your next bold move? What are you doing to maximize the season you are so that it can prepare you for the next big
season? Move? In fact, I believe every time I coach people, and I think we've talked about this in our previous chats, when change comes, talk to me about that, and you're not ready for it. Because everything...
You are never ready for change.
No. But if it finds you
not ready, not
prepared,
so now we're going somewhere.
Because even that child in the womb
must be prepared.
They have to grow.
That's so powerful.
Until they are very powerful. Because if they're not fully grown and they're premature, you will have a problem even with the birth itself.
Thank you. And I'm glad
that you... The same with the 20-year-old, the same with the 40-year-old. It can mess you up.
So here's the point. You need to maximize your season.
Okay.
Because your season is the growth phase. That prepares you for the next season.
There you go.
So if you don't do if the development doesn't take place during that season,
you miss the opportunity.
You're gonna reach the other season and you're not prepared.
So don't bank the lessons of life.
Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
That's why you need to plan your life. And I think we're recording this because we're trying to challenge everyone there to say, first of all, recognize there are 4 seasons in your life. Secondly, know where you are in that season. Thirdly, wherever you are, you must be growing.
Yes.
Because it's a preparation for you prepare for winter. When?
In summer.
You must.
This is autumn.
You must. So you must prepare. And if you know it's going to be rainy season, you start fixing the fields.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't wait then after it starts raining and say, where am I going to get the tractor? Where am I going to get the fertilizer?
Exactly.
You prepare. Yeah, so these are they prepare you.
The race is not won on the day of the competition.
Now watch this. If you don't plan for the seasons, because the key to taking advantage of the seasons of life is planning. And yes, I know you like this statement. And I often say this, without a plan time and change will ruin you.
Mess you up.
What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
You know someone, maybe you were in school together, or an uncle who used to be a head honcho at Anglo-American or at whatever company, and then they retired, they came back, they were the head honcho at some mine somewhere, and then they retired, and now they're broke, and the only way they can get a drink is by telling stories about how they used to be the head honcho and the most powerful person. Nothing moved without me. Okay, so uncle, what happened? First of all, the mining industry changed.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So he woke up one morning and the industry had changed.
And he didn't
And
change.
he was irrelevant. So they let him go. That's what happens in life. And I know you're good at what you do currently.
Yeah.
But if your industry is changing and you're not, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So you need to you understand the seasons, but also you need to grow with the times that are changing. So let us give you something quickly, and this is gonna be a short one. So then we're gonna wrap up, and then you can ask.
I'm just loving this. I just wish we could go on if time allowed.
Now this journey, it's easy to say, hey, 0 to 4 to 20.
Yeah,
it's your providential years, the beginning of your life. And then 20 to 40 is your searching season. 40 to 55, it's your success season. And then 50 plus, it's your significant season. Nice. So what? Let's look at how then what do I need to succeed in each of these seasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the equipment? What are the tools?
What is the so there are 7 key steps.
Okay.
And they're orderly, and I'm gonna take you through them just now. You have to go through the steps. If you don't, you're not gonna make it.
Okay.
So,
and these are steps at each stage.
Yeah. So you repeat those
every season.
Now, that's very important.
All right.
Okay. So let's start. The first one is thoughts.
Thinking.
Yeah, your thoughts.
What about my thoughts?
Everything that you see in the world began with a thought.
Okay. Yes. Someone acted on the thought.
Yeah. So there's a thought. Who's the guy who looked at an apple falling and then discovered gravity? What was his name? So how come this thing is going to fall?
Yeah.
Thomas Edison must have thought, what if can I harness this thing so I can get to a light bulb? I think it was the Microsoft guy who said that in the 80s, he said he said there will be a desktop in every household. In the 80s, there were people who were writing that he's dreaming. There's no such a thing that there'll be a computer in every home. Now it's not just a computer in every home. Every child has got a thing.
A PC and something.
Everything you want, the car you drive, started with a thought. These mics, the cameras,
the lights.
Everything here began with a thought, including your very existence.
Someone thought, I must have a child.
Somebody thought. Even God says, I knew you before you were formed.
I know the thoughts I had.
In your mother's womb, which means that you were a thought in God's mind.
Wow.
So everything starts with thought. So you need to think about your thinking.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Because you can't go through the searching years if there's no thinking. Now let me think about. Let me give you a power of think. Hey,
I want you to move quickly on this 7 because I know someone is like, okay, thoughts. I must manage my thoughts.
Thoughts.
Then what?
I just because a lot of people say I think.
Okay.
But do you really think? So there are 3 types of thinking that you should have quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1 is what I call strategic thinking.
Okay.
Now somebody's saying, now I'm thrown off.
What is that?
That must be the thing they do. No. Strategic thinking simply says, this is where I am. That's where I want to go.
And what's going to get me there?
These are the steps that are going to get me there.
Yeah.
Simple. So you need to master strategic thinking. Number 2, genius thinking.
Okay.
I wish I could say amen to myself now. Genius thinking says there are possibilities I have not considered.
Which could be real.
Can I consider those possibility. So once you've done your strategy and you really look at your plan and say, are there any possibilities that I didn't think about? So that allows you to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the final one is what I call oblique thinking. Some of you remember that math class. They're talking about an oblique angle.
Yeah.
So oblique is neither horizontal or vertical.
Yeah.
Oblique is that.
It's just perpendicular.
This is very important for you. Most of us were taught to think I can either do A or B, or I have a choice between 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Oblique thinking says, how can I do A and B? I'm not going to go deeper than that. If you want that, you must invite me to come and talk at your organization. All right. So first thing, it's your thoughts.
Yeah. Your
thoughts then you articulate them in words.
Yes.
So if it's just a thought.
Yeah.
You've heard people saying, he took my idea. He stole my idea.
But
no. If you have an idea and you don't implement it, there's no action. So thoughts. So words. So words then are something like, hey, I want to start a media organization out of Africa to the rest of the world. I remember our conversations. It was when you were talking to me, you were articulating your thoughts into words. Even God himself says, in the beginning was the Word.
And the Word was
God.
The
Word was God.
And even God
then God spoke, let there be. Okay? So it's about thoughts. I wonder what it would be like to fly. Then okay. So if I want, the Wilbur brothers, whatever they, Wilbur the Wright brothers. Yes. I wonder what it would be like to fly.
And then you start building.
Then from those words, right? You move to step number 3. So first thoughts. Yes. The thoughts become words. The words then lead to decisions.
All right.
Because now you must decide.
Wow.
Okay. So the decision then says, okay, if we're going to fly, what do I need to do? If I want to start a media company, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to. Who knows about cameras? Oh, there's Elder. What's his name? What's the Elder?
Noel.
Yeah, there's Elder Noel there. I'm going to attach myself to Elder Noel because he knows about these things.
Then
I'm going to read stuff. I'm going to study stuff. I'm going to buy myself a camera and start practicing. Do you see the thing? So you're making a decision
to move.
Remember, the decision is very important because the decision is where you plot the process.
All right.
Don't just. So what most people do, they think,
and then they live.
They speak and they act. No, they think and then they act.
Okay.
If you think and you act without making decisions, you're going to miss something. So let me give you an example. If you're overweight, then you decide I'm going to lose weight.
Yes.
Then you say I must lose weight. No, you say I must lose weight.
Yes.
So what do? You go on a diet. What happens? You in the medical field, you know that.
Yeah.
90% of the people that go on a diet, they lose weight and then they gain it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because they skipped the decision process. Decision says, this is what I'm going to do. Yes. This is so diet is going to change. Yes. And then this is going to do it. And this is going to do it. So you're putting a plan. The decision helps you to put a plan of what?
And to make
action.
To make choices.
That's it.
When Moses became of age, Hebrews says he chose.
Yeah. So you're making that's where you're now beginning to choose to say, okay, I'm going to leave the medical field to go into the media space. All right. And these are the actions that decisions then lead you to number 4, which is actions.
Action.
If you make a decision and don't act on it,
it's as good as not made.
Yeah. So now you begin to do your action. So you need to understand the place to start is your thoughts. Your thoughts then lead into words. Your words lead into decisions. Your decisions leads into actions.
Yeah.
Your actions is then what forms your habits.
You've got to keep doing it.
Because if you act once.
Yes.
So if you want to lose weight, for instance, you say, okay, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to cut out, I'm going to watch the portions that I'm going to eat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you do it once.
There's a C word I always tell people. The success I've gained in anything I've done is simply because I was consistent with the action.
Yes. So if you do it once,
yeah,
you're not gonna get the result. Okay. So you do it over
and over,
action over
yes,
and over. The same actions over and over. They now become
habit.
Your habit. Habits then are step number.
I think that's
5.
number 5. Yeah.
5 is your habits. Habits are simply just your actions repeated over and over
yes.
again. So a person who's always late did not wake up late.
Here's a habit.
They started. They went once, they were late, then again, and it's a function of what? Being late is a function of lazy thinking. They're not engaging.
It comes from a certain space. Yeah.
So it becomes then after a while, your habits become step number 6. Your character.
You're known for this.
Your character. Yeah. This now becomes character is simply the sum total of your habits.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And it was Aristotle, I think, who said, you become what you repeatedly do.
Yes, that's true. The Bible says, as a man thinketh,
so is
he, which means thoughts move until they become actions and they become you.
I think it was...
so that's number 6.
Yeah, number 6. Your character. It is your character then.
Yeah, that brings you to point number 7.
Leads you into your destiny. You can miss your destiny because of the wrong character.
You can miss your destiny by wrong thoughts, wrong words not said, and you can miss your destiny by indecision.
Yes.
You can miss your destiny by inactivity.
Yes. Which leads, if inactivity becomes a habit,
character.
Which becomes your character, and then you can never, so you are meant to be this powerful cricketer.
But your choices.
But you make choices. You continuously drink before the game. You continue
to
bunk
the practice
then you
sessions.
then you never make it. Then you blame everybody else. We blame everybody. Now I'm fat because this happened. I'm this because my mother didn't hug me. If we can do this properly, psychologists will run out of jobs. Because a lot of the stuff that we do at the psychological table has to do with the fact that we refuse to take responsibility.
Exactly.
So now, what's interesting about the 7th, so these are 7 steps, you have to follow them that way.
In every season.
Every season, you got to start. It starts with what?
So it means every time you change.
Yes.
You are shifted out of your providential years. You've got to form new habits.
Thoughts.
You've got to make
start new thoughts.
So start new thoughts, new thinking.
Yeah. So if they say you can't solve
the
problems
with the same thoughts. Thinking that caused it.
Yeah. So that's why the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Which brings me to a very important point.
Yeah.
If you're not a reader, you're not going to make it in life.
Oh, my Lord.
You need to read.
You see that khaki thing there?
You need to read.
New stock for reading.
You need to read. Buy books.
Yeah.
Read. Listen to podcasts like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feed yourself new information because that reshapes your thoughts. This is a very difficult one, particularly for Christians, because Christians tend to be stuck
on same diet.
Same diet. And if anybody comes with anything else, it's like, no, that's heresy.
Strange fire.
Yeah. So you need to, because even God says, behold, I will do a new things. Old things have passed away.
Yeah.
So there has to be
Gideon had to go over the hill to hear the dream that was happening on the other side. So now, there's knowledge around.
So now
I want us to wrap this one because
I
know we can go forever.
Let me wrap up.
The thing I really want us to talk about is Ecclesiastes. Like I said to you before,
before we get there, can I give you 8 things?
You've got to run through them quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Yes. I know we're running out of time. So here's the interesting thing about each season. And this is very important. Because what stops people, and that's why I needed to share this one, is your process. So we've done process.
Yeah.
But with each bold move will come, you need to deal with these 8 issues.
At the transition.
Yeah. Number 1.
Yeah.
New places.
Okay.
Well, it's a new place. If you're a new place, what happens? There's an adjustment that it makes. You need to learn how to operate in that space. So there's a new place. Deal with new place. Okay. So I'm gonna be very quick. So it's a new place.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 2, new perspectives. Every bold move requires new perspectives.
See things differently.
That's gonna be hard. I'm saying you have to deal with them because that's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
3, new people.
Yes.
Every bold move, means that you're gonna meet. So you leave the people that you're familiar with, the environment you're familiar. Now you got to deal with new people. New people come with major problems. People are a problem.
Yeah.
They're a challenge. Human beings are challenge also. You got to deal with new people.
Yeah.
4, new pains. Every bold new move introduces new pains.
When you buy a new shoe, it always comes with the
That's
part
why
that
most people won't make the jump, because they're trying to avoid the pain. New pains. And
but they say no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Not only that.
So gain is
every growth you've ever experienced in life came from pain.
Pain.
Yeah.
True.
So it's important that we do that.
Yeah.
5, new priorities.
All right.
See, the priorities are different when you move into a new season. Yeah, the priorities are different. Yeah.
Yes.
6, new preparation.
Yeah.
When you're in the medical field,
yeah,
it's totally different. Now, I mean, we're here when you're trying, hey man, there's a noise coming out, there's mic, it's completely
different perspectives.
Yeah. So every time you change, seasons change.
Yeah.
There's
new priorities.
There's new preparation.
Yes.
7, new passions.
Oh yes, that I know.
Just new passions.
Yes.
Awesome. The thing you're passionate about.
You're driven now.
Driven, but completely different. Yeah.
Yes.
And finally, number 8, new possibilities.
Oh, yes.
Now, you don't have to deal with all 8 at the same time. But on average, what I've discovered is that you are dealing with 3 of them at any given time. They're always at play. Yeah. You're always dealing with 3. And if you don't deal with these things, that can also derail you from succeeding.
They will destroy
in
the
your
opportunity.
Season. Yes, you wanted me to wrap up with something else.
So I've written a script of a book.
Yeah.
You're going to be the editor for this one. I think it's long overdue now. In fact, before I even started writing the first word, I spoke to you about it. It's about 3 years now.
Yeah.
4 years, actually.
I've been trying to kick you to do it.
The season has not moved.
And but you're refusing to move out of the season.
It's tough.
No, writing is tough. Writing is not easy.
I've gotten to a point where I think it's ready. So one of the verses that actually was a springboard for that is that the wise man Solomon in Ecclesiastes 3 says, for everything there's time, season, and purpose.
Yes.
So your final parting words on the fact that in life you cannot divorce these 3. And so your parting words to someone out there who says, I've heard you, so what must I do?
Let's start by saying you are listening to this podcast right now because you have an appointment with destiny. That Providence has made it possible that you hear this message. Call this your burning bush experience.
Oh.
Your burning bush experience.
Conceive it right now.
Because we're calling you into action. We are moving you into your destiny. This is your burning bush experience. So the fact that you're hearing this is because it's time.
This was a setup for
You've gone around this mountain long enough. 10 north, my friend. It's time. So there's a time, there's a season, and there's a purpose. You were born for a purpose. And because you were born for a purpose, there are seasons that will lead you towards that purpose. The one thing I want to talk about time very quickly. There's 24 hours in a day. Some people say, I can't do anything because I don't have money. So I want to end by saying you don't need money.
Okay. You just need
time.
Okay.
You know why? Because time is universal currency.
Wow.
Your life is what you have exchanged the 24 hours you get every day for. I'm going to repeat that. Every single human being gets 24 hours. You exchange that 24 hours for whatever you've got now. If you're broke, you've bought poverty with your 24 hours. If you're sick, you've bought sickness. If you're overweight, you've bought overweight. If you're ignorant, you've bought ignorance with the 24 hours. While Elon Musk created a rocket that can be sent to space and be reused.
In the same 24 hours.
While Thomas Edison gave us the light bulb in the same 24 hours. While, Melusi gave us MelVee. In the same 24 hours, you're sitting and saying there's no money, there's no whatever, while others are creating content on YouTube.
Wow.
Others are writing books. Others are becoming better fathers, better mothers. Others are becoming, they're DJs. They're becoming preachers. They're becoming physicists. 2 years ago, I completed my executive MBA in the same 24 hours. Yeah, same season. So what you do now, because he says there's a time, that means if there's a time,
there's that
moment. Means there's also a limit. It's not waiting for you.
It's actually perishable.
It was Queen, Freddie Mercury and Queen.
Yeah.
Time wait for nobody.
No.
And if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
It's a use it or lose it. And like the Zim dollar, time can also be devalued.
There are things that devalue
and
your
I'll tell you what, So for 1 hour, I get paid X amount of money. Someone else, so think about it. One person gets 100,000 rands to go and speak for an hour. Another one will speak and nobody will pay them.
Wow, devalued
What's
time.
the difference? The one who's charging 100,000 has increased the value of their time by the investment that they've made in themselves.
Yeah.
The one where they're using his time for free is because they've devalued his time. It's as useless as a Zim dollar.
You mean the new Zim?
What are you going to do? And this question, what are you going to do with the time that is left in your life?
That's the $1 million question. I'm hoping someone is listening to that there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
It's been a worthwhile experience.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping to launch my book at some point. Maybe you'll be the nature's agent.
So let's use that as a coaching moment.
Yeah.
That's a wrong statement. I am going to launch my book in 3 months' time or whatever the time is.
All right.
You know what we call that? A speech act. It's a commitment. A commitment in speech. I am going to launch my book by. Versus, I hope I'll launch my book. I wish I could launch my book.
Yeah.
Your words, remember? Your words matter. Your
words create the world.
Your words matter. And you must always use your words to commit.
Yeah.
Whenever you speak, use your words to commit. If you do that, if you consistently use your words to commit,
and chase your words.
You're gonna because now once you've committed, there must be integrity to drive what you committed. Yeah. Like we promised each other, we're gonna record this on Tuesday.
It must be done. Yeah. Wonderful.
If we said it would be nice to record a podcast,
it'll never
happen.
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and to our viewers out there, thank you so much for taking this time to watch. I hope it helped you. Remember to like, to share, to subscribe, and to follow this podcast. If you have a question, just remember to drop it in the comments below. Get in touch with us. This has been a blessing. God bless you, and all the best.